there, so I just got done watching Poltergeist 2, The Other Side. Now this is the original sequel to the original Poltergeist movie that came out, this sequel came out in 1986, I think, and it's set 1 year after the events of the first movie, which I thought was pretty cool. So there wasn't that much time in between it, and so basically we're reunited with our family, and a lot of things have changed. Like, their house is gone, so they had to move back in. They had to move in with the mother's mother, so the granny, and we're introduced to a new character called Taylor, who's a Native American kind of witch doctor type deal. Anyway, so the movie actually starts off with him kind of talking with an elder Native American, and they kind of do some like ritualistic stuff, and then some spirits goes into Taylor. And then Taylor knows that he has to go and help this family. And he actually drives up. And there's a great scene at the beginning where he drives up the driveway and you see all these for sale signs of people trying to sell their houses, but nobody wants to buy them. And then Taylor has to talk to a cop to even get into the site of where the family's house used to be. And so he goes down and they said to find the grave site, find the graves, but then the medium from the first movie's there as well, and she's like, they found something else down there. They found a cave network, and in the cave network there was like a bunch of skeletons, one skeleton in particular, and so like that's the big mystery of like who are these people, what are these people doing there. And then it cuts to the mom, they're having money difficulties. The dad's having trouble trying to find a job. I think he's selling vacuum cleaners, which is kind of funny, because there aren't any really door-to-door salesmen anymore, But yeah, and so then we're introduced to the bad guy of the film, and he's like a preacher type of deal, and immediately he's a spirit, but yet people can see him too. It's kind of weird, it's kind of freaky, but sure, that's the film, so that's good, so you don't know whether he's real and he's got powers, or is he a spirit, so it's that kind of mystery to it. So that's kind of the setup of the film. Without getting into spoilers, I'll just say that I really enjoyed this film. It was a good sequel to the first film. I still think the first film was better. This film was only on for an hour and a half. The original was on for 2 hours. But there was a lot of character development in this movie, especially with the mother and father. The teenage daughter is not in this movie whatsoever. I don't know if, in the first movie she didn't do a lot, so maybe they thought, well, we'll just get rid of her. So they didn't even explain where she went, or maybe they did, but in my mind I'm just thinking, well, she's gone off to college, and that's it. And the whole time I was thinking, really, nothing's happened to the teenage daughter, what? So it was kind of funny, kind of a bit of a plot hole there. But yeah, the special effects in it were great. The kind of, the spirits special effects are back. They've kind of aged a bit, but I'm sure if they make a new Blu-ray edition of it, they'd probably update it or whatever. But everything else, the makeup effects and everything, brilliant, fantastic. I liked the story. There was good plot points. I never felt bored during the film. They kept beating away the plot points, and it was really enjoyable, so I do recommend it. So now I'll get into spoilers. So it's great character development for the mother and father again. the father kind of has to come to, like, he's still kind of in denial that it happened, and so is the mother. And then the granny, like, tells her that, I have, I have the ability to sense things, and so does your daughter, the granddaughter, and the daughter that got sucked into the TV in the first one, the little girl. And so there's powers within the family, and then the mother has powers too, So, and they so slowly develop, and they didn't just get these powers because they went to the other side. They always kind of had these powers, but that kind of unlocked them, type of deal. Anyway, so that was great develop, and the way they slowly told a story of what happened to the people down in the cave was really good, and that, the preacher guy led them then to the cave and says the world was going to end, and then it didn't, but he kept them down there anyway. So, like, that's where the lost souls came from in the first film. Like, they were buried underneath and they wanted to get out and they couldn't get out. Like, so the first film actually makes more sense with this movie. Like, it isn't just a haunting, it's like there's something really bad happening to these spirits, why they can't go over to the other side. So, like, that actually made more sense to me, because that kind of ended that plot hole, which was good. But like, it explained, like because, like, why did that happen in the first film? Like, because it says it was a poltergeist, and I was just like, well, why is the poltergeist there? And it turns out to be, like, this preacher guy, So that was pretty cool. So I'll get into, like, big spoilers now, but my favourite scenes were, like, when the dad became possessed by the preacher. That was pretty good. Hard scene, hard gripping, but then the mom, like, realised it wasn't him and kind of brought him back to normal, and then he puked up the worm he had earlier, and it digested and it grew. It kind of reminded me of Alien, and then the creature kind of grew and was trying to grow into a man, and you could tell, like, it was a guy with no legs and one arm crawling around, like, covered in special makeup and, like, a bodysuit, and it looked really cool, it looked really great, and I just wish they would bring them special effects, like, because computer effects, they don't trick the mind really that much, and these, like, look so real, and look, because you can have real effects and then put little special effects on top of it, and to make it sell it, like, to really, and it's really good. But the monsters in this movie are really good. The actors in this movie are really good. Taylor, the Indian Native American, he brings the dad on the journey to make him into, like, a warrior or a real, man type of deal, so he can fight the demon, and he gives him a spirit, and then the dad, that's how the dad actually beats the physical manifestation of the demon. But then, like, there's this big whole fight at the end, and the end is just crazy. It's just bonkers. But the whole thing of it is, it's really family, like, so the family have to well, I'll get to that, but a bit before that was when they escaped the physical manifestation of the demon. They had to get to the car, and they got into the car, and all these chains and electrical cables, and then a chainsaw came at the car. That was hilarious. That was brilliant. And then you could see the dog fighting with one of the electrical wires. That was hilarious. That was brilliant. And the dog was even looking like, help me out here. Like, it's so funny. And then the dog got into the car, and the car drove off. Oh, that was so funny. But again, there's a lot of like I'm kind of getting towards the end of the film. I want to go back to like, yeah, the braces scene where they give the son something to do because they didn't give him a lot to do, character development wise. Like he was just being a bratty kid, and then his braces turned into like big. His braces just took over everything. Took over the bathroom he was in and kind of had him up in the wall, up on the ceiling, and the mother and father had to go in and help him. Oh, it was hilarious. It was brilliant. It was scary, but it was funny. Like it was brilliant stuff. So it was brilliant special effects. And I do worry about the kids. Like, did they scare the bejesus out of these kids or what? Like, I don't know, but oh gosh, yeah. But and the tension slowly build, and the preacher tried to test the dad a lot. That was brilliant. And the guy who played the preacher, great. He's brilliant. Like, I can't fault this movie much at all. But yeah, it really filled in the gaps. And the dad didn't allow a TV in the house whatsoever. It was really funny. Another funny thing was about the car being angry and being mad the whole time. Like the car had a spirit now, and I was just like, what? That bit kind of took me out of the film. I thought that was a bit silly, to be honest. But yeah, it was. I don't know. Like they tried to make the car a character. Oh, that's silly. Car character. I don't know. But yeah. So like, the ending, like the ending was they all had to go back to the original house, go into the cave, and then the mother and the little girl saw everything what happened, and then they had to jump into the Native Americans' fire, Taylor's fire, to go to, because the preacher, what happened? Yeah, the preacher took the mother and the daughter to the other side, and I think they were trying to use their spirits to make, get themselves back into the real world type of thing. But so the dad and the son had to go into the fire to get them back, which didn't make much sense to me. Like, what? But Taylor said you have to do it as a family. I was like, really? They're trying to, like, this whole thing is, like, they're strongest as a family, I guess. Okay, and then, like, they do get them back, and, to defeat the evil preacher, and then all the souls go to heaven, I guess, and, I don't know, it's, okay, fine, right, whatever. There's some other stuff that happened too, but I don't want to spoil it too much. Because I want to, I do recommend this film. I do recommend you go and see it. Just, it's funny. It's just, but it does fill in a lot of the blanks from the first movie, which is really good. Movie. Steven Spielberg was very involved in the first film. I didn't even see his name in the credits in this film. Which is very strange, but they had all the original cast back, so I don't know, maybe he was making Indiana Jones film at the time, or so, I don't know, but yeah, because I think he went away from scary movies and started making like the Goonies and Indiana Jones, and which kind of was scary, but family films. Like, I think he went kind of in that direction then. But yeah, I can't fault this film. I was really entertained, really enjoyed it. Yeah, so like and subscribe. There's a third movie. It's something to do with a tower. I don't know. I seen the poster for it. I didn't watch the trailer for it, but there is a Poltergeist 3 movie. I might as well watch it. It's still October when I'm recording these. It's still October, I'm in lockdown. Ireland's in its second lockdown. So I might as well watch it for the crack. There's nothing else on TV. So yeah. So like and subscribe. Check out my other videos. Check out the list. I'll leave a list of the reviews here. And yeah. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.